Hold your tongue, High Elf. King Camoran didn't need Queen Irene's help. Never asked for it, in fact.
If Queen Irene hadn't saved your hides at Cormount, you would have lost the Civil War. You lot owe your lives and your allegiance to the Altmer.
You haughty High Elf bastard. The Wood Elves don't owe allegiance to anyone. Least of all, finely bred fools such as yourself. What do you think? I can't speak to this High Elf bastard any longer. He's so well educated and wise that he can barely function.
This Wood Elf doesn't realize he would be dead without Queen Irene and the Altmer. Such disrespect. We risk life and limb to save them, and they thank us with accusations and insults.
This High Elf thinks that his people rule over me. The Wood Elves follow King Camoran, not some High Elf queen. Am I right? I suppose you have a point. Irene rules over all elves, equally. Perhaps helping us was less an imposition on us and more her duty. It was your queen's duty to protect us, High Elf.
If that's
all
what
of
you
us.
want to believe,
It doesn't mean your
Wood
people
Elf.
can lord over the Bosmer.
You and that Wood Elf can lie to yourselves, but the Altmer have a place above all others. It's not a judgment, simply a matter of fact. Our knowledge and contributions to history ensure this. That Wood Elf needs to learn his place.
You have a point, my friend. Perhaps we're all in this together. Seems it's the only way we'll get out of this war alive. Uptight as these High Elves are, they did save our skins.
Please enjoy our attractions. I'm terribly sorry they're so limited at the moment. I convinced my performers to come here, to spread High Elf culture in these lands. Bring a little piece of Somerset to Grathwood, you see? But the train bugs are sick, our magician supplies are missing, and our storytellers' stories fell flat. None of us know the area well enough to resolve these matters. Now we're a carnival, with nothing but a fortune teller. Huzzah! I'd gladly pay the coin provided by the Somerset Cultural Expansion Council to anyone who would help us put on the show. My performers can best explain their setbacks. Connor is our bug trainer, Norian, our storyteller, and Vindare the Magnificent is, well, she's magnificent. I have to describe her that way. It's in her contract.
To be honest, I don't mind the carnival not being full operational. I prefer shopping to spectacle.
I hear you are giving a hand to the performers. That is great news. Maybe my stock won't spoil after all.
I don't trust those bugs. They haven't done much since I've been here, but I'm going to keep an eye on them all the same.
Look at them. Limbs so sluggish and carapaces dreadfully dull. When you've raised the shocks since they were pupae, it gnaws at your heart to see them so listless. Look at them. Limbs, they're having trouble managing the local grass. So I've put them on an all-hay diet. And the climate. It's more humid than they're used to in Somerset. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they were homesick. When they were younger, I'd grind mud crab eyes into paste and give it to them as a treat. I think it would raise their spirits again. But nobody sells mud crab eyes. And I can't leave my shocks to fade away while I scour the coasts. I would forever be in your debt, my friend. A dozen would be enough to go around if you wouldn't mind. And I won't mind if they're a little mashed when I get them. Saves me some work.
I hope you didn't travel from far away just to see Vendare the Magnificent. I am not performing at present. My magic cannot function safely in front of a crowd. The, stars are out of alignment. Oh, did she? Did she also tell you how she promised that would make 10 times our normal take by coming to this godforsaken backwater? Did she mention how she said shipping my supplies wouldn't be an issue? The shipping was fine. It's the delivery where it fell apart. My belongings arrived at the docks of Haven without incident. But due to the recent problems in the city, no one has any idea when deliveries will resume. As far as I'm aware, yes. They're in the nicest looking trunk on the dock. I had it touched up by a painter in Matissan, you know. But with the pirate attack, who knows when Haven will be stable enough to deliver their backlog of shipments. I couldn't ask you to lug that heavy monstrosity all the way here. Its triple reinforced steel with an inch-thick lead interior discourages my competition from snooping. I just need the supplies inside, if you wouldn't mind, of course.
I'm sorry, but I have nothing to say. That is my problem. I literally have nothing to say to these people. All my stories about the amazing deeds of long-dead high elves. The first rule of my profession is to know your audience, and Grathwood is not a place to tell such tales. I plan to seek out wood elf stories in taverns and libraries, but since we arrived, I've heard of countless troubles in Grathwood. The worm cult, pirates, wood elf rebels. It's all the same. I'd rather keep to the safety of the carnival. The wood elves rarely write their stories down. But I heard Scholar Glorolin in the Elden Root Mages Guild is the one to ask. If you're headed that way, would you mind asking for a book? It could be written in Old Akaviri for all I care. Anything would help.
Some prefer knowledge to strength. Igmane gives me both.
Hello.
Hail.
Yes, my vision dream speaks true. You are the one my mistress seeks.
This one serves the Dominion well, and knows many others are the same way as he. What happens when all we disgruntled walkers refuse to fight for elves who do nothing for us? Battles will be lost. This, I promise.
Sick and tired of being treated like kitten-headed fools by the Talmor. They file and deliver their papers, sign us empty promises. And what do we have to show for it? Nothing. Abuse? Yes, that is what it is.
Ah, I didn't know. So many fellow walkers are upset. Disquieted by the silence of the Thalmor when we entreat them for answers. This one knows the burden that is documentation. They were prompt with Vabashi's trade permits. She will be patient with them.
Greetings.
I'm not sure I've ever been this far up before. What happens if someone falls? There's a correlation between distance from Morrowind and probabilities someone will be more open when talking to me, I've noticed. I blame the Telvanni. People were fairly cold in Black Marsh and Anakina. Here, people have been more friendly.
Sabibi wonders if this tree truly grew this way naturally. If the wood elves do not harm wood, could they coax it to grow in this fashion?
This one has given much thought. If a wood elf mate were to insist on cooking wood elf foods, it would be all right. Maybe, if they are very small though. Very small indeed.
How much longer must we wait? This is ridiculous.
I have things I must do. I cannot wait forever. How much longer must we wait?
The prince is thoroughly engaged at the moment. Certainly too busy for the likes of you.
Did you know your entire future is mapped out in the stars? One must only know how to read them. Not such an enviable skill, though. A mystery that kills the mystery, if you catch my meaning.
I'm busy with matters of state. Go trouble someone else.
You're a bold one to approach so fearlessly. Give me a good reason to speak with you. I'll make it seem like you're here at my request. Otherwise, my subjects will think you cut the line and start sizing you up for dinner. How thoughtful. I could hardly turn down such a generous gift, especially with the trouble brewing in Elden route. You're a bold one to... How thoughtful. I could hardly turn down such a generous gift. How are you at building embassies? You see, Queen Irene promised one would be built for the Khajiit as a gesture of goodwill. But now a year has passed and there's still no Khajiit embassy. This has led to no end of headaches. Good question. You wish to serve the Comoran throne? You can start by asking Prince Naaman why his people aren't fulfilling their promises. He's the one who seems to have the entire Elden tree lodged up his flue. I can say that. I'm the king. I take Queen Irene at her word, and I'm sure there's a good reason for the delay. But it looks bad when she can't construct a simple building for the people she's sworn to lead. I do hope Prince Naaman can clear things up.
Yes? Quickly now. Don't leave your mouth to hang agape. That again? My sister, Queen Irene, foolishly committed to build the Khajiit an embassy months ago. Everything was to be handled through Ambassador Tarinwe at the Ultima Embassy. No, you don't get to question me, not after you slew High Kin Lady Estri. Do you think I'm one to have a chat with the person who killed my wife? That will break out the Sylphmead and share a good laugh? I suppose that's my burden. Very well, I won't give you the satisfaction of doubting my loyalty. You were asking after the Khajiit? Ask a stonemason. I have to prepare for the ratification ceremony before Queen Irene's arrival. I can't be troubled with such minor issues. If you care to pursue the matter, speak with Ambassador Tarinwe at the Ultima Embassy. An archaic wood elf ritual. If she dances to their tune, Queen Irene will be recognized by the heavens as a worthy candidate for Emperor of Tamriel. Rubbish, if you ask me. To promote harmony, she'd tell you. The same reason she picked this bizarre tree city as the Dominion's capital. She wants every member of the Dominion to feel as though they're equal. Oh, we need to be unified against our enemies, and having a high elf in charge is paramount to our success. But do we really need all this coddling? The ratification ceremony, the business with the embassy, more problems due to harmony.
You're not one for waiting in lines, are you?
Don't talk to me. I might vomit on your shoes.
This one doesn't have time for strangers. Sorry. This one has an entire loaf to finish.
Go away. I've got nothing for you. This table's for the undaunted. Or what counts as undaunted in these parts, anyway.
You look ready to buy.
What? Well?
Come out! Come out and talk to us. Do what you promised.
What is it?
Amazing to stand at the heart of Tanzelwil, isn't it? You can hear the ancestors whisper.
I have no idea where the funds for these projects are going to come from, but it's my responsibility to find that funding. Perhaps I should reopen my family's salt mine.
I am doing my very best to reconcile the diverse culinary preferences of the Dominion. The Khajiit prefer their food with moon sugar, which doesn't respond well to the aging in wood elf meats. High elves, of course, prefer neither. Impossible.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on outside. I doubt it really matters in the grand scope of things. Peasants being peasants, I assume.
I suppose a wanderer like you wouldn't know what busy looks like. I will demonstrate. Feel free to observe, quietly and from a distance. Oh, forgive my manners. There's so much to do in preparing for Queen Iren's ratification ceremony. Tempers fray, as I'm sure you can understand. But if Prince Naaman sent you, it must be important. What can I do for you? Why would Prince Naaman care about that? If they are too lazy to build their own embassy, can't they afford an inn? Well, of course, I ordered it done. I hired some wood elves to excavate the stone and set aside supplies for Khajiit to use. It isn't my fault if the locals couldn't do their jobs. Check our storeroom. The Khajiit didn't even bother to pick up the supplies. In the meantime, I'm off to locate Prince Naaman. If he didn't send you here with his blessing, I'll see you face Dominion justice.
I always admired Sirabane. Someday, I hope to be so well known in Altmeri culture as that particular hero sorceress. It shall not, I expect, be through my diligent bookkeeping and efficient management skills that I become so well known.
Ridiculous, that. The gathering, I mean. Do they not realize that we are endeavoring to satisfy them? Their conflicting demands and ridiculous expectations of time. Time marches only as it will. Such is its mandate.
That's far enough. The storeroom is off limits. Ambassador Tarin weighs orders. She did? That's different then. Show me her orders and I'll stand aside. Then I can't let you inside. Her instructions were very specific. No one gets in without her written permission. I'm to remain at my post until relieved. Except in an emergency, of course. The Khajiits could riot. That would be bad. Very bad. Or a fire, of course. But the chances of that happening are slim. I'm here on the ambassador's orders. I can't leave my post unless there's an emergency. Suit yourself.
How can you ignore your allies like this?
It is no use. The High Elves care nothing about their promises to the Khajiit. Nothing will change, no matter how much we shout. Of course, we hope the Ambassador would hear our voice, but it seems those stone walls are too thick. Perhaps the sound of rocks against her embassy walls would bring her out. What? No. But if the Ambassador is going to sit in her well-constructed embassy, she won't remain oblivious. A few rocks cluttering against her walls should remind her of what we lack. Thank you, my friend. Come out!
You! Stop that
Come out
at once.
and talk to us. Finally, this one gets some attention.
You'll start a riot, you fool! This isn't the way!
Where is the guard? And what are you doing here? I'd expected you would solve problems at the embassy, not cause them. Do you realize what's happening out here? Oh, never mind. Explain what you were doing in that storeroom. Why would she do that? Oh, never mind. Well, What did you find? Typical bureaucratic corruption. I expected better of the ambassador. No matter. Supplies can be replaced. What about the Khajiit embassy? Did she say why construction hasn't begun? What do you mean, collect stone? That should have happened months ago. They should be ready to build it. I'll talk to the ambassador myself. Put the fear of the Dominion into her. I'm surprised we didn't pass each other on the road. Get to those ruins and find that work crew. I want to know why they haven't done their jobs. I won't have Queen Iren's word impugned by someone else's incompetence.
What do you want? Saw you standing over the body of a dead wood elf. Nearly put an arrow in your throat. Good thing I recognise you. Azerith, bind us, stranger. We work directly for King Camoran Eredon. Saw you earlier in the throne room. The king had his suspicions about the missing work crew and asked me to look into it. Seems we both have a stake in this. I know enough. Khajiit owed an embassy. They're angry the High Elves are dragging their feet to build it. Seemed like politics until a dozen stonemasons vanished without a trace. The king sent me to find out why. Before the Dominion, King Camoran Eredon nearly lost a civil war. I came to see if the missing stonemasons were targeted by the Blacksap Rebellion. But Blacksap would have displayed the bodies, not left them as food for Horvor. The king suspects Ambassador Tarinwe has been up to no good. Little things, some of her associations. But he can't accuse his allies of undermining the whole alliance. So he sent me to deal with it. Ambassador Tarinwe used criminals to smuggle supplies. Never directly, but enough for us to notice. I'm not saying she had these stonemasons killed, but I'd like to ask her myself. Problem is, there's nothing we can do while she's in the Altmer embassy. If she left the embassy, she knows someone's onto her. She'll go to ground, try to flee, have someone smuggle her out of Grathwood. We should probably stop her. Meet me by the middens at the base of the Elden tree. I'll be there shortly.
Please, listen to me for just a moment. It's very important. Doom has come to Craglorn. The star...
They call this place the Middens because it's where all the refuse ends up. We clear them out now and again, but they always come back. Necessary evil, I'm told. Spoke with someone I trust. She's definitely here. We should get moving. We're not far behind her. Capture her, bring her in for questioning. Find proof she's behind this so Prince Naaman doesn't explode with outrage. Never thought I'd hunt a High Elf ambassador. Smugglers, skooma addicts, and more than a few criminals. They keep to themselves, but sometimes they band together to repel outsiders. Kind of like a filthier version of the Dominion. Our goal is to find Ambassador Tarinway before she buys passage out of Grathwood. Staying in the shadows, avoiding unnecessary conflict, that's what I'd do. But there's a lot of ground to search. I'll follow your lead. We need Ambassador Tarinway alive, but if she runs, I'm putting an arrow through her ankle. Smugglers, skooma addicts, and more.
Spare some coin? Or some skooma?
See the world, he said. What a joke.
Do a poor elf a favor. Kill as many of the bastards who brought their filth in here as you can. They've beat us down, taken our things, and gotten some of us strung out on skooma. It's awful.
Can't you just leave us alone? Haven't you types already done enough?
Lend a helping hand.
Of course nobody down here recognizes me. It's been so long since they've been to Somerset, I expect they wouldn't. When Finaster finally comes to take me home, they'll see. They'll all see. And none of them will come with me.
Finally, something to eat.
The smell down here, it is so rancid. Sanobani does not know how much longer she can bear it.
Prince Naaman sent someone to the embassy. We have to leave before we're discovered.
Prince Naaman? We had assurances. How can we make him our puppet if we can't control him? It's too late! For the hereticals!
On your feet. You're coming with me.
Why? Where are you taking me?
To King Camoran Eredon, where you'll answer for crimes against the Dominion.
He'll have me killed and served for dinner.
Only if you're proven guilty. And if you are, none of us could stomach you. Now get moving! Good working with you. I'll take her from here. You should inform the king of the good news.
Ah, curse it all.
Hail.
I have nothing to say to you.
Consider yourself grateful the Prince granted you an audience. He attends to crucial matters of state.
Please help me escape.
I brought Ambassador Tarinway into custody. Of course, we can't question her without special permission from the Thalmor Inner Council. Politics.
You've returned. What have you learned of the Khajiit embassy? Oh, good. Nothing I enjoy more than talk of conspiracy. Did the ambassador have a manifesto? They usually have manifestos. No matter. I trust you resolved it. Splendid. I'll allow you the honor of informing Prince Naemon. Why not tell him the duly selected High Elf ambassador was working against the very dominion she pledged to support? I'll sit in my throne and try not to gloat. Queen Irene doesn't give her recommendation lightly. If she thinks you can assist us, I take her at her word.
I heard what you said to the king. Ambassador Tarinway a traitor, my wife's killer, a loyal servant, and I, Queen Irene's representative in Elden Root, required to thank you for your efforts. Very well. I'll provide no reason to question my duty to the Dominion. We'll interrogate Ambassador Tarinway until we know the extent of her treason. Then she'll die, as all traitors must. But no matter. Your efficiency in resolving this matter was commendable, and the Dominion rewards its servants. Ambassador Tarinway's betrayal could not have been more absolute. She knew the details of the ratification ceremony, which puts Queen Irene at risk. It's my sister's own fault. She thought to appease the Sylvanar and the Main by agreeing to this foolish process. The ratification ceremony ends with the orrery, an ancient device beneath Elden root. It will divine Queen Iren's capacity to become empress, or some such. But Ambassador Tarinway assisted in the preparations. I must assume she tried to sabotage the proceedings. Doing so would make Queen Iren look weak. No, we must proceed. You've proven your competence, so I'll ask you to speak with Melaras. He's an expert on the orrery and knows what must be done. Quite pleasant once you grow accustomed to the smell. The preparations for this ratification ceremony seem endless, but I'm up to the task. She asked how she could prove herself their rightful leader. The Sylvanar suggested the orrery nonsense, and the Main agreed. Of course, neither will be present to see it, yet my sister is held to her pledge. How unexpected. Khajiiti political excuses are impossible to discern. I know the Main will not be present, and that's all I care to know. As for the Sylvanar, he died on Kenathi's roost. Thought he could negotiate with the filthy sea elves. King Camoran Eredon. It's beneath his city, so there's no turning him away. And myself, of course.
Please don't mind Prince Naaman. Ambassador Tarinway's betrayal is a shock to us all. But no matter, the orrery must work flawlessly for the Queen. That's what we will ensure. Enough to be of service. The orrery hasn't functioned as intended for ages. We planned to use some rather delicate magic to trick it into operation. But if Prince Naaman believes there was sabotage, we must look to an alternative method. Why, we'll look to the past! According to legend, the orrery required a skilled operator, an alien source of power, and a divine spark before it would function. Without all three, it won't do anything but spin. Quite pretty, but not very useful. Conservator Daraneth maintains the orrery and has studied the alien monitoring rituals. Unfortunately, she was called away to South Point for a personal matter. If you can locate her and convince her to return, we'll have our operator. I've researched this a bit. Really, you need to be in 3 places at once. Simple, right? But the Fallen Esti winter site is rumored to hold a relic of the Khajiiti thief god. For our purposes, Radchin's mantle will serve as the divine spark, if it's truly there, of course. The heart of a numeral originally brought life to the orrery, according to the texts. It long ago went missing, but a member of the local mages guild named Laranalda theorizes it's in a local Aeliad ruin. She's currently at the Reliquary of Stars, seeking the heart of a numeral. Wonderful! Have anything you find sent directly to the orrery. Once everything is in place, we can begin the ratification ceremony. And do refrain from referring to Conservator Daraneth as a missing element.